guys, welcome to part 3 of my hip opening series. So for today's class we're going to start in our extended child's pose. So what I want you to do is just bring those big toes together and just spread those knees nice and wide so we're really opening through the hips. Sit the bottom back onto the heels and just walk those hands nice and long out in front, bringing the forehead down to the ground. And just start by closing the eyes. Take a moment to become present on the mat. And with every breath in, I really want you to expand the belly here, drawing the belly onto the thighs. And as we exhale, we deflate. So really let that belly be big with every breath. And just allow the breath to bring you to the present moment, to get you ready for our practice today. Just taking a few moments in our child's pose, just to really open up those hips and to create a calm space for us to practice today. Taking a couple of more breaths here. And slowly just walking those hands all the way up, lifting the forehead off the ground. And we're going to move into our tabletop position. So you just want to realign those knees now, bringing them to hip distance apart. Just maybe wagging the hips from left to right. Create some space. Just bringing that neck nice and long now, so we don't want it to be dropping down or lifting up. Just keep it nice and long. And as we breathe in, you're just going to kick that right leg out behind you, keeping the knee bent, almost like a donkey kick here. And we're just going to take a few circles, so like a peeing dog here. Just finding some movements, opening through the hip. A few more. Then you're going to bring that knee all the way out to the side and maybe take a few pulses here. Really opening through that hip, opening through the glutes. Just 2 more. Reach the right leg all the way out behind you. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just stepping the right leg all the way through in between those hands into our low lunge. And just shuffling that right foot just forward slightly, allowing a nice long stretch through those left quadriceps. And we're just going to move now into our side lunge. So what you're going to do is walk the hands all the way over to the left-hand side, just coming on to the outer edge of that foot, shifting all the way down to a side lunge. So flexing through that left foot, coming onto the toes of the right. Take a few breaths here, really feeling that stretch down that inner thigh into this nice hip area. Taking one breath here. And on the next breath in with me, you're going to come up to your goddess pose. So just walking those fingers to center, lowering that left foot down on the ground and really sitting into those hips and just gently lifting the hands, bringing the hands in front of heart center. And from here, we're going to lower all the way down now to the right hand side, lowering those hands down to the ground. And we're going to slowly work through these movements, so you're really going to bring some movement into that hip and leg area. So just keeping the hands on the ground, walking to the right and to the left. So moving through that goddess transition. A few more movements. One more to each side, finishing on the right foot. Wonderful. And slowly walking those hands all the way back, coming to your high lunge. Take a breath in and gently drop that left knee all the way down to the ground. Find yourself back in your tabletop position. So just bringing that right knee now to meet the left. And as we breathe in, we're going to kick the left leg back this time. Find your donkey kick. And we're going to circle that left hip all the way around, bringing some motion into the left hip. Like that peeing dog. Taking a few circles here. You're going to bring that left leg out to the side now. Maybe see if you can take a few pulses with the left leg. One more breath. As we inhale, extending that leg out behind. And as you exhale, stepping that left leg all the way through to your low lunge. Feeling that stretch through the right quadriceps, shuffling the left foot forward slightly if you need to. And we're going to move into our side lunge on this side now. So just bringing the hands to the inside of that left foot, walking those fingers all the way around, turning back to your side lunge on the opposite side. Take one breath here. And slowly rising all the way up to your goddess pose, the same as we did on the other side. Bringing those hands in front of heart center. Take a breath in. And as we breathe out, lowering over to the right hand side now, back into that side lunge. And like we did the opposite way, we're just going to gently walk those fingertips through both ways here. Just moving from left to right, bringing that motion into the hip area, bringing some motion into the legs. Moving back and forth. One more to each side, finishing over to the left foot. Wonderful. And then just shifting all 10 toes to face the front of the mat, coming back to that low lunge, dropping the right knee down. And from here, working our way back into our tabletop position. Take a nice deep inhale. And as we exhale, tuck those toes under, rise the hips to the sky, downwards facing dog. On the next inhale, you're going to rise the right leg all the way to the sky. And as we exhale, you're going to shift the weight forward, almost like you're coming into a plank pose, but you want to keep that right leg nice and lifted. Drawing the right knee all the way towards your nose, drawing the nose in, bringing the chin to the chest. And gently see if you can place that right knee down on the ground, shuffling that left leg back. Find your pigeon pose. So you just want to swing that right leg out to the side here and make sure those hips are nice and aligned. So we don't want to be really sitting onto that right hip. We want to bring both hips to center. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just walking those hands all the way forward. Find your nice deep pigeon pose. Take some breaths. Really feel that stretch, not only through the hip, but also through the quadriceps, through the IT band. Nice workout for the whole body here. And on the next breath in, you're just going to slowly walk those hands all the way back up. Find length in the spine. And if you want, you can maybe take a stretch in that left quadricep. So just swing the left arm all the way around. Take a bend through that left knee. And just see if you can stretch the quadricep here. So placing the hand just on top of that left foot or onto the left shin. Find a stretch. This might be too much for some of you. You might need to pop a pillow underneath that left knee. One more breath in. Exhale to gently release. Coming back to center, tucking those left toes under. Take a breath in. We're going to rise all the way back to our three-legged dog. So rising that right leg all the way up to the sky. Breathe in. Exhale, lowering the feet down to your downwards facing dog. And taking the same on the opposite side now. So as we breathe in, lifting the right leg to the sky. As we breathe out, see if you can come onto the toes of the right foot, drawing that left knee all the way in towards the nose. Take a breath in. Breathing out, placing that left knee down onto the ground now. Shuffling that right leg back. So finding our pigeon pose to the left side now. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just walking those hands forwards. Find that full pigeon here. Resting the head down. Feel that stretch. Again, making sure those hips are in line. Nice deep breaths. Breathe space into the area of the hips. And on the next inhale, just gently pressing those hands all the way up, moving nice and gentle. And just swinging that right hand all the way round to take a bend now in the right knee. Find that quadriceps stretch. So just bringing that hand on top of that right foot. Bringing the gaze over towards the right foot. Breathing in with me. And as we breathe out, gently lowering the right foot down to the ground, tucking those right toes under, and just kicking that left leg all the way back. Find your three-legged dog. Take a breath in. Breathing out, lowering the left leg to the ground, dropping the knees here, sitting back into your narrow leg child's pose. Just drop the forehead down to the ground. On the next inhale, lifting the forehead off the ground, sliding those hands all the way up, nice and gentle. Find your tall spine, and we're going to move now into a full pigeon. So from here, we're just going to swing those legs out in front. And starting with the left leg on the bottom, you're just going to bring that left leg, so the lower leg's parallel to the front of the mat. And you're going to see if you can stack that right leg on top to come into our full pigeon pose. If you need to pop something here for support, then go ahead and do that, maybe a block or a pillow. So you really want those legs to be in line here. And we're going to take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just walking those hands forwards, coming down onto your forearms if you can. You're really going to feel this in the right glutes and in that right hip. Taking some nice deep breaths. This is quite an intense stretch here, so make sure you're breathing. And on the next breath in, just slowly walking those hands all the way back up. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to cradle that right leg. So you might feel a little bit silly doing this, but it's going to feel good. So with that right hand, you're just going to lift up the right leg, just prop that arm underneath like you're about to carry a newborn baby, and just wrap that right arm all the way around. Take a gentle rock of the leg, maybe smile at the baby if you want. Take a few breaths, really opening up that hip joint. Wonderful, and slowly placing the leg all the way back down, releasing the arms. And we're going to take the same on the opposite side now. So you're just going to bring the right leg to the bottom and the left leg on top, finding that full pigeon pose. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, walk those hands forwards, coming down onto the forearms. Take some nice deep breaths here. You're really going to feel this in the left hip this time and in the left glutes. One more breath. And gently walking those hands all the way back up. And just seeing now if we can cradle that left leg again. So with the left hand, just lifting the leg up, wrapping that right arm underneath, and just rocking your newborn leg. Just looking down at the leg. Take some breaths. And from here, just gently releasing the leg back down. And you're going to bring both the soles of the feet to the ground now, bringing them just wider than the mat. And we're going to take a few windscreen wipers with the leg. Just to really release those hips, release that lower back. Wonderful. Coming all the way back to neutral, finding a cross in the legs now into Sukhasana, easy pose. Lengthening through the spine, bringing those hands onto the knees, just rolling those shoulders back and gently close the eyes. Take a moment to come to stillness, just to bring some calm to the mind and let the body relax. Turning off the senses here, allowing ourselves to turn inwards and notice how our body's feeling, notice how our mind's feeling, and just honour however we may be feeling today. And slowly bringing some awareness back to the present moment. Start to bring your awareness to the sounds you may be hearing, maybe to the feeling of touch. Wiggle those fingers. Bring the awareness to the sense of smell. And slowly blinking those eyes all the way back open. Bringing those hands in front of heart center. We're going to finish today with a nice deep breath through the nose, filling up those lungs completely, and exhale, sigh out the mouth. Thank you everyone for joining me today. Namaste.